Assalamu alaikum everyone, peace be upon you. My name is Mehdi, Hussaini. As you heard, I'm a third-year medical student from New Jersey. And first and foremost, I want to thank Uncle for that amazing introduction. That was a lot more than I had expected, I think, and I think a little bit more virtuous than I would kind of associate with myself. But I also want to thank the organizers for having me come and speak today. I know I'm coming from a different perspective, being a little bit younger than I think most of the speakers. And I want to thank all of you that are not Muslim for being here and joining us in this holy month of Ramadan. I know sometimes it can be intimidating kind of in joining somebody else in a different cultural event or something along those lines, and we do really appreciate it, because if I've learned anything in my 25 years on this earth, I've learned that Ramadan is about taking a step back. It's about reevaluating your relationship with God, and it's about looking at ways that you can become closer to Him. And I can think of no better way to do that than to look toward the other God-conscious members of our community, opening our doors and having them join us to break bread together. Events like this are really important to me because I think that they help us in a time where we are quote-unquote more connected than ever. They help us really put faces to names. They help us really appreciate our community that much more. I think we can call ourselves connected, but at the end of the day, how many of us really do know our neighbors? How many of us really do have that feeling of relationship with our community? But I think in this month especially, it's important to take a step back and maybe do that with others. The two kind of examples that I look toward, I think, in this moment is in how to deal and how to associate yourself with individuals that are not part of your faith. I think it's very easy for us Muslims because we've been given so many of these types of examples, but the one example that I always point to is the example of the Holy Prophet. Now, a lot of people forget that during the Prophet's lifetime, he spent 40 years before he started preaching Islam, where he just lived amongst the community members, where he became one of them. He worked a day job. He had friends and had individuals that he interacted with in the day-to-day. And people also forget that the Arabian Peninsula back in the day was not just Muslims and non-Muslims. It was a very diverse diaspora of individuals. It was Christians, it was Jews, it was tribal religions, it was many different cultures kind of interacting in one location. And the Prophet earned himself a reputation in this location as somebody worthy of trust, worthy of being someone to look toward. Now, there was a very small interaction in his life that I think speaks volumes. The Prophet was sitting amongst his companions, and he was teaching them a lesson. He was talking about Islam. And in the background, as they were kind of sitting to the side of the street, in the background they see that there's a procession that's going down the street. And the Prophet asks, he says, what's going on here? Why are there so many individuals gathered walking in one direction? And somebody in the crowd says, oh, it's the funeral of a Jewish man. This man is of the Jewish faith. He's an elder amongst our community, and we are commemorating his life. We're going to bury him. And the Prophet, without saying a word, immediately stands to his feet. Amongst a group of individuals that he was talking to, amongst a group of individuals who maybe had no relationship with what was going on in the background, the Prophet stands to his feet. Immediately people begin to question him. They say, oh, Rasulullah, Prophet of God, why are you standing up? This is somebody you didn't even know. This is somebody outside of our faith. This is an event that's completely unrelated to what we're doing right now. And the Prophet looks at them. He almost admonishes them for a moment. He says, was he not a creation of God? Did he not have a soul? Was he not a human being? For that, he deserves our respect. And yes, it's very easy to sit back and think, yeah, well, of course, this is what somebody at that time should do. This is somebody, a religious man, a pious man. I would like to reverse that. I would say, how easy would it be for him to say, no, I'm a prophet of God. I don't stand before anybody else who is not amongst my group. This, I think, shows us the type of respect. He's literally taking a stand for somebody of another faith. And that's a really beautiful moment, even though it's maybe a second or two of his day. I think it shows to us, especially as Muslims, the type of association you need to have with others, and the type of respect that we all need to have for those members that are of different faiths. The other example, and I think my favorite by far, is that of Imam Ali, who is the cousin of the Holy Prophet. Now, Imam Ali had recently, during this story, he had just gained the caliphate. He had just gained rulership of this area, of the Muslim kingdom, basically. And Imam Ali, he is basically taking stock of what his rulership is like. what the day-to-day is like, how the government works. He wants to get a familiarity with the community that he is ruling over. And he's taking a walk down the streets, and he sees that there's a beggar at the corner. And there are many people that are walking past this beggar, not even looking at him. There are many people that this man is going up to and saying, "Can I please have some money? I'm trying to feed my family, I'm trying to feed myself, trying to clothe myself." And these people are not giving him a second glance. And Imam Ali stops. These people around him that are walking with him, that are associated with his companions, they all stop with him. They said, "Oh Ali, why are you stopping?" The Imam says, he looks toward this man, he says, "Who is this individual?" And the people around him say, "Oh, well, he's this Christian beggar. He used to be a craftsman, and now he's old. He doesn't really have much business going on right now, and now he's coming on to hard times, and he isn't able to feed his family. He's just a beggar. He's just a beggar on the street, same as anybody else." And Ali looks at each and every one of those people in the crowd, and he says, "How strange is this society that we live in, where when he was able-bodied, we used him for his labor. When he was able to do these tasks, we paid him handsomely, we gave him compensation for his work. And now, when that physical ability has left his body, when he's now old, when he's going on hard times, now we step away and we leave. How strange are we as Muslims?" Immediately, he points to one of his friends. He says, "Go and set him up with a pension. I want to make sure that he has an income for life." He doesn't say, "Go and give him some money so he can feed himself today." He says, "Go and set him up for life, because he has paid his debt to society. He has been a worker, he's been a pillar of the community, and now Ali wants to give him the respect that he has earned, not as a Muslim, not as a Christian, but as an individual who has helped build that community." And I think stories like that, if we continue to share them, if we continue to look back and really think about what they do mean in a larger context, of not just religion, but what it means to live in a community of multiple religions, I think they give us guidance for what we can do today and the types of people that we need to be today. Because it's almost amazing to me that we still have these labels that prevent us from being kind to one another. Compassion can't be confined to a label. God doesn't want us to look at someone as Muslim or Hindu or Christian or Sikh or Jew before we show them compassion or kindness. We all have these examples. I'm just showing you one perspective from our religion. In the end, I think we may call ourselves different things. We may look different. We may ascribe to different books and different ideologies, but those differences should not for 1 second overshadow the ideas that we all care about, or overshadow the intention that we must all have to care for one another as part of the same community. And it's as simple as that. These ideas of charity, of learning, of respect, they transcend just one religion. They're not just Islamic ideals, they're not just Christian ideals, they're not just Jewish ideals, they're human ideals. And we, in our religions, have found different ways to appreciate those, and that's great. But good character, above all, is what we believe in. And I think events like this are really important to getting that ball rolling and to getting us to better understand our community and be there for one another. And I just want to leave you with one quote from the Holy Prophet. I think if we can all take this home tonight and maybe think about it from our own perspective and appreciate it, then, my mission is accomplished today. The Prophet says that being amicable toward people is half of faith, and being gentle and kind to them is half of life. Thank you for listening, and please enjoy your food. Thank you for joining us, Muslims, in this holy month of Ramadan.